Please welcome to the stage our esteemed pitch judges and successful entrepreneurs, Piraye Beim, Jaime Schmidt, Tonya Lewis Lee, and Kate Ryder.
Woo! I have to jump in on that. It's Piraye Beim, just because I grew up with her husband. That's his last name. Go ahead.
Thank you.
You do the rest.
We couldn't hear you the end.
Sorry.
So we missed the end, the punchline.
Oh, sorry. The punchline is that I grew up at a very young age with Piraye's husband, and he's a super nice guy. And then he brought to his community this unbelievable rock star entrepreneur who's a scientist and takes no bullshit, and she's right there. So that was the punchline.
So guys, before we start bringing the entrepreneurs that want to do the pitch, I thought it would be a fun thing to put those ladies in the spot. Right? Anybody here with me on that one? I mean, they've been doing their thing, they're doing well, but I bet you they have not pitched in a while. So I figure, sorry ladies, I just have to do this. But I figure, if you just like introduce yourself, say your name and what your company is, and you have like 2 seconds to say like, this is what my company is and what it's about. But like 2 seconds.
2 seconds. Okay. So my name's Piraye Beim. I founded a next generation women's health company called Celmatix. We believe that in the era of big data and genomics, that women should be using the same level of technology and insight to make the life-defining decisions about when to start a family and about their fertility, as is used to sell them handbags.
Yes. Okay, please.
I'm Jaime Schmidt. I'm the founder of Schmidt's Naturals. Schmidt's is redefining the personal care industry with safe, healthy alternatives that meet or match the conventional brands that are on the market. Outperform.
No, did you guys see? She's got a belly in there. She's got a baby.
Well, so I run a women's health company too. This is my outfit I wear to every event. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, Piraye and I just aligned backstage. We are a next generation women's health company, a digital clinic for women, so you can video chat with the network of providers, OBGYNs, pediatricians. So if anyone has a lingering UTI in the audience, download Maven Clinic and you can get a prescription downstairs in 20 minutes.
So I'm Tonya Lewis Lee, and being the serial entrepreneur I am the founder of Movida Organics, which is an organic it's an organic vitamin supplement company. And I'm also the co-founder of ToniK Productions, which is a film production company. And we just premiered our film Monster at Sundance last week.
Yes. All right. Now, that sets the expectation for the weight in this up here, right? That sets you guys' expectations. Should we get going now with the pictures? So, how are we doing this? We're gonna get the video going first? Yes? Are we ready for it? Let's do it.
Yeah. I'm Bimla Picot, and this is my pitch. If you've ever been a caregiver like I was, helping a friend or a family member with an illness or an injury, then you know how difficult it is to get them dressed without pain and without stress. That's why I designed Rebound Wear. It's fashionable athletic wear that's adaptable and versatile. We design our line of clothes with strategically placed zippers and panels that makes dressing easy. Our clothes resolve issues of pain and modesty while maintaining your style and dignity. Whether you're breastfeeding, treating an injury, or post-surgery, Rebound Wear will keep you looking and feeling great. To learn more about Rebound Wear, check us out at www.reboundwear.com. Where fashion meets function and
Please welcome pitcher number 1, Bimla Picot! If you like her pitch, don't forget to vote.
So that's it. So this is not about sickness. This is about getting dressed. Something all of us did this morning and we didn't think twice about it. But for 40 million Americans who struggle with mobility, getting dressed is painful and it's arduous. And if you do happen to have a health issue, it literally adds insult to injury. And I know this because I experienced it with my mother who had a hip surgery, my young son who had a shoulder surgery, 2 older friends who had health crises, and my best friend who had breast cancer. And I kept looking for something to help them get dressed, which was the hardest part of recovery, and there was nothing. And I thought, I have a background in fashion, I live in New York City, the heart of the fashion district, and I started to study what the needs were of the patient, what it was of the healthcare workers and the healthcare system. Somehow, the humanity in healthcare had been lost, and Rebound Wear is putting the human back into healthcare. So I had a focus group at the Hospital for Special Surgery, and they said, this is amazing, what took so long, and Rebound Wear was born. So Rebound Wear is a line of athletic clothing that's about accessibility. For anybody who, as I said, has a mobility issue, it's stylish, it's comfortable, it's functional, and it's accessibility for people who are caregivers like me or professional caregivers. It's made of the highest quality fabrics, it's soft, it looks like probably your favorite athletic wear. So you can snooze in it, you can go to PT in it, and it's not just for people who are sick. It's for breastfeeding moms, it's for if you're getting plastic surgery, it's hyper athletes who have to get massages before and after the game, and it's for people like me who want to optimize my 10-minute massage in the Manny salon without pulling up my shirt. So if you need clothing that's easy to get dressed in, Rebound Wear is where fashion meets function and fashion meets wellness. Thank you.
Yes, wow. I'm glad I brought your side. This is good.
So, no getting naked in the PT clinic.
That looks good. It feels good. Looks good.
Well, that is the thing. You know, a lot of people, what's on your body matters. It does.
Ladies?
Great, so I'm up. So what is your go-to-market strategy?
Go-to-market, we're on the market. So we sell, we're e-commerce. We sell on Amazon, Zappos. We were in Memorial Sloan Kettering. And sometimes when you're ahead of your time, you have to wait for the universe to catch up. Because initially when I started, everyone said, oh, you're going to sell in hospitals. But hospitals are in the business of taking care of people. They're not in the business of selling clothes. So I did have to pivot, and it's fine. But the good news is that we got a call from someone who does hospital supply. And she said, I had a doctor who called me who wants shoulder surgery shirts. Go figure. So, and we do have a hospital gown. I'm not anti-hospital gown, but I really feel that if you wear a hospital gown, it sends a message that you're still sick. And when you put on something comfortable and it looks like your favorite clothes, your favorite hangout clothes, it sends a message that I will get better. Or at least I'll just feel better. You know?
So this really resonates with me because I'm currently breastfeeding and I recently had major abdominal surgery. So this would have been a game changer for me. I love the idea of every major fashion line having an accessible sub-brand. Have you thought about partnering?
Sure, I'd love to. Sure, I'd love to partner.
Who can help her?
Okay, I have a question for you. So it sounds like you've had, some personal experience with family and friends who have struggled with having, accessible clothing after surgery. But what kind of studies have you done to gauge the demand in the greater market?
So there really are 40 million people. Actually, when I started, it was 30 million people. But the older demographic is growing. And believe it or not, all this exercise we're doing isn't so good for us. We're living longer, and our bodies were not made to take the kind of pounding that we give them. So I'm not saying don't do the exercise, but just be prepared to start replacing all of your joints.
So you've done studies to show the demand for these types of clothing?
Yes, I did 2 years of, I started looking in the CDC just to see, that was just the first place to go. I did have another company, my assistants, while I was whittling away with this, I kept it under wraps because I thought people are going to think I'm crazy. Obviously, somebody else must have thought about this. But, so I dug deep into the weeds, and I said to her, how would you like to work for 2 companies? She said, okay. And I told her what my idea was, and she said, my fiance is a physical therapist. He has a doctor in physical therapy. So I asked him, who comes in? And it's not at all who I thought. It's such a wide spectrum of people for all different kinds of reasons, and it isn't always about sickness. And then I did have the focus group at the Hospital for Special Surgery, and I asked them, who are your patients? You know, what does it look like? Is it broken bones? But it's chronic illnesses, broken bones, older people. Breast cancer is a big thing, all the different cancers. So it's a very big market. And today, everybody talked about how silent people are while they're going through their various struggles. And it's silly, you know, it seemed like such an easy thing to fix. You know, this could really make a difference.
Wonderful. Do you have a trademark for it? Or a
Yes.
patent? A patent on it?
Yes, so I did. After I went to the Hospital for Special Surgery, I gave them some prototypes, they gave me their feedback, and I filed for a patent. Quick. And lots of trademarks. Look great, feel better, that's ours. Just so you know.
Have you tried nursing homes?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, we're trying everywhere. I'm a startup, I'm a bootstrapper, so if any of you want to be salespeople and, you know, people in nursing homes.
And also a plastic surgeon, right?
Absolutely plastic surgeons. You know, most of what happens after surgery, I say nowadays surgery is seamless. You go in, it's usually ambulatory, which means you're going to go home the same day, and guess what? You're not going home in a hospital gown. So somehow you better figure out how you're going to be wearing that cast or that brace or whatever it is that they're going to give you. And with my son, he wasn't focusing on the surgery. He was like, Mom, my shirt doesn't close. He was so mortified about leaving the hospital that way.
We want to go home looking good like this.
Well, yeah, but then you have to ice, and then you have to go to PT. So it is one garment does it all. That's the other thing.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank
you.
you.
I'll help you out. I'm all around for you.
Oh, I have to go out this way.
This way? Yeah. All right. Okay, who do we have next?
Please welcome pitcher number 2, Julia Bechtolsheimer.
My name is Julia Bechtolsheimer, and this is my pitch. As a triathlete, I recognize the importance of nutrition to feel good during a race and perform at my best. Using a carbohydrate mouth rinse for 5 to 10 seconds while exercising is proven to elicit a performance boost by activating the brain. While the concept is popular among elite athletes in the scientific community, no one had developed the science into a commercially available product. So I created Unit Rinse, a portable, clean, and effective carb rinse for athletes everywhere. This is an entirely new category of sports nutrition that we've coined cognitive fueling. To find out more, visit unitnutrition.com. This brain needs activating right now, that's for sure. Maybe if I'd have brought some with me, I'd be able to focus a bit better. So, carb rinsing, cognitive fueling, these are terms I'm sure many of you are hearing for the first time. So let me start by explaining what carb rinsing is. Rinsing a carbohydrate solution around your mouth for 5 to 10 seconds will significantly boost your energy, regardless of whether you then drink it or spit it out. That's right, it's all about the rinsing. You don't even need to drink it. It works by stimulating receptors in the mouth, which in turn activate areas of your brain associated with your feelings of pleasure, reward, motivation, motor control, resulting in an instant power boost. So what are the applications of this? Most people don't realize that for exercise around an hour and a half in duration, ingesting carbohydrates in the form of a drink or a snack will not do anything to improve your performance. Carb rinsing will, and it will do it instantly. It's a unique way to fuel all exercise of 90 minutes or less, which accounts for the vast majority of most people's workouts. For the long duration stuff, because the effects are instant, it's a great tool for that tactical power surge. It's also great for combating taste fatigue and GI distress for any of you marathoners or Ironman triathletes. Going beyond power output, we are in the process of finalizing a study with a university in the UK, and they will take our product to test their hypothesis that carb rinsing also improves concentration and mental alertness. Now, if they are correct in their assertion, it will expand the scope of carb rinsing across a range of many more sports, but it will also expand the scope well beyond sport. Talking about applications beyond sport, we were recently approached by a hospital group who were interested in using our product for their pre- and post-op patients who cannot or are not allowed to ingest anything, and also for women in labor who may find it difficult to tolerate fluids but require strength and motivation and energy. So as the science evolves, the applications of carb rinsing are truly enormous. So I'll wrap up by showing you our carb rinse. It's called Unit Rinse. This bottle contains 4 rinses, so this is enough for an hour of your workout right here. It's organic, it's gluten-free, it's non-GMO, no caffeine, no sugars, no artificial preservatives, colors, or flavors. We worked really hard at creating a very clean formulation because it is formulated for you to drink after you rinse. So that you can enjoy it anywhere, indoors, in your spin class, in your gym. It's just not practical to have to spit out your sports nutrition. So this is designed to enjoy everywhere, and should you choose to drink it after rinsing, each bottle is just 20 calories.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's open up to the beautiful ladies over here.
I have a second question.
Yeah. So it's such an interesting idea. You answered one of my questions, which was, this would have been awesome before giving birth. Get that boost at the end. So very cool that you're studying it. I'm curious, how did you get interested in this?
So I discovered the science during my quest to fuel an Ironman triathlon. So in 2014, I was training for Ironman Cozumel, and I was trying to figure out how to fuel such a long day, 11 to 14 hours of racing, in really hot heat where you're flat out. And so I started to read the science, look at what American College of Sports Medicine had published, and look at really what we know about scientifically fueling. And that's when I discovered the science of mouth rinsing. I began to contact the scientists that had published various papers, and I flew out actually for a meeting with a scientist in Frankfurt at the oldest sports nutrition institute out there. And he said to me off the bat, did you realize for exercise less than an hour and a half in duration, you don't actually need to eat any carbohydrates because your body has enough glycogen stores to sustain that duration of exercise. All you need is a mouth rinse. And I was like, no, I didn't realize that. And this became a really common conversation that I began to have the more scientists and sports nutritionists that I connected with. It's amazing how there's such a robust body of science on this. It's so well understood, and it's utilized by the elite athletes and Olympic athletes, but nobody's ever created a product that's designed specifically for this use. This is the first carbohydrate mouth rinse in the world. So it's amazing.
Congratulations for that.
Oh, thank you.
Nice.
Thank you. So it's super exciting. Thank you.
So I'm curious, how do you plan to bring it to market? How do you see breaking through?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've had some really exciting inquiries from top athletes in a range of sports, triathletes, tennis players, car racers, skiers. And so our plan is to partner with some top athletes across a spectrum of sports and work with them to help promote our product, as well as some great influencers that really embody our brand, and work with them to help drive traffic to our website. Our focus is selling everything through unitnutrition.com, initially anyway.
And you don't see this as just being used by top athletes. It's for everyday athletes as well.
For everyone, for every person who's, you wake up in the morning and you're trying to get that quick jog in before work. There's no time for breakfast. There's not even time for a coffee. And even if you did have your coffee, it takes about 45 minutes for caffeine to reach peak plasma concentration. So carb rinsing is a way to get that instant energy burst to go out and enjoy a run, or perfect for a spin class or a strength session in a gym. It's got so many applications just for everyone every day.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I just want one more thing. Do you feel it immediately?
Yes.
You feel it immediately?
Yes.
And you've got to go out there and exercise. Is that it?
Bring it on, right?
Thank you, Julia.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much.
So who do you consider your competition? And where will your products sit on store shelves?
Ooh, that's a good one.
What was the question?
Who does she consider her competition? Where will the products sit on store shelves?
Because we are the first carbohydrate mouth rinse, we are pioneering this new category of fueling that I've coined cognitive fueling, because it's acting through the brain. Because we're the first, there aren't really any direct competitors yet. No direct competitors, but also if we just looked at the kind of sports beverage category as a whole, the energy drink category, there are very few sports beverages that are organic, don't contain added sugars, and really have a focus on just including what you need for your performance, and none of the extra unnecessary ingredients that, probably not great for our bodies, preservatives and colors. And
Can I jump in here really quick? Because regardless from this, because you sound like I did very early on within getting into business, and it's something that, because we also created a category, when we first started, it was not frozen baby food, did not exist in a category for buyers. Okay, but it's very important, and also we have the science behind, right? So everything we do, we scientifically test of how pure it is and the level of nutrition, all of that. The challenge with that is that you have to start looking at this right now in a way of, how do I make the science very customer friendly, where they get it right away and it's not a bunch of talking, right? Because I'm hearing you trying to describe how amazing scientifically this thing is, but for the masses, it needs to go right in their heart for them to understand what it is, right? And keep the science, but how do you turn science into their hearts for them to make the purchase?
Absolutely.
And then also, you have to figure out right now, if you're trying to go into the market for retailers, you have to figure out right now, who's your customers and where in the store do you live? Because that's one thing that we challenge a lot by being a new category. And if you allow other people in the world tell you where to go, you'll be lost out there, and you will do a lot of mistakes that will cost you a lot of money. So they'll be the only two things that I tell you.
Thank you.
Camila coming in with the awesome advice. Thank you, Julia. Thank you, Camila. All right, it's time for pitcher number 3, Bethany Edwards.
I'm Bethany Edwards, and this is my pitch. After 30 years of the same stiff plastic stick, I believe it's time for a new kind of pregnancy test, one that's private and sustainable. Lee is the first FDA-cleared, flushable, and biodegradable pregnancy test. The Leah pregnancy test is engineered from paper, not plastic, allowing it to disperse in water and biodegrade without sacrificing accuracy. The Leah test is over 99% accurate, 0% plastic, and 100% your business. Visit meetleah.com to order your flushable pregnancy test today. His to join our growing community of supporters. So how many of you have ever hidden a pregnancy test in the trash? Taken one in a public restroom, been embarrassed to purchase one in a store, or simply would prefer to keep your pregnancy testing private? Well, you're not alone. 92% of women value privacy when taking a pregnancy test. However, until now, until Leah, there has not been a private solution. For 30 years, the at-home pregnancy test has been the same stiff plastic relic, highlighted in movies for its lack of privacy. Someone sees the test in the trash and breaks the news before you can. Worse yet, they're bulky, they're expensive, and they add 2 million pounds of plastic waste to landfills every year. At Leah, we're modernizing the pregnancy test. And we have created one that is biodegradable. After only 2 months in soil, this is a Leah pregnancy test. So try that with a traditional plastic test. We are dedicated to improving women's lives and making it better for the planet as well. We're putting you first and the planet's needs first. And this hasn't been done before. So we're really excited about it, and I'll continue with a few more things. So Leah is the first flushable, FDA-cleared, biodegradable pregnancy test. It is 99% accurate, 0% plastic, and it is 100% your business. Thank you.
Hey, I can relate to that keeping your business, because it was hard to keep those pregnancy tests hiding in our family. I can relate to that big time.
So my question is, what brought you to this? What brought you to the idea of creating Leah?
Yeah, so this was part of my research while I was at the University of Pennsylvania getting my master's in integrated product design. So it was a cross-disciplinary program between the engineering school, the business school, and the design school. And I mean, one of the other things that we really wanted to focus on was making sure that our packaging was, subtle and reminiscent of a greeting card, and that our pouches are nondescript. They're unbranded, they're ultra thin. We can ship this to you. Yeah, we can ship this to you in an envelope, and that's also one of our big value propositions.
Can I see it?
Sure. There you go.
But why the pregnancy test? I mean, you could have done anything with that degree, with those series.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, this is applicable beyond pregnancy tests. So it is, applicable to single-use diagnostics in general. And it started more from a sustainability standpoint, but the fact that nobody had innovated in the pregnancy test form factor in over 30 years was a really big deal. And after speaking with hundreds of women, we heard stories from, being excited, being upset, even those people who are trying to get pregnant and struggling. Seeing the consistent pregnancy test pile up in the trash can is a stark reminder of your struggle to get pregnant, right? So we really felt that this was important for us to innovate and bring a new product into this market and inspire other women to innovate for themselves, right? To be inventors, entrepreneurs, business leaders, scientists, engineers.
Well, thanks. I recently took one and it was positive.
I see that.
So two questions. So how does this price compare to a regular pregnancy test you'll buy in Rite Aid?
Yeah, looking at being parity pricing to start out, so comparable to on-branded tests, anywhere from $13.99 to $15 for two, and then later looking to kind of bring that price point down. We've got a little bit to pull out in labor, but one of the great things about this is pregnancy tests, 52% of the cost is in plastic. So because we have switched the materials, that will eventually allow us to ideally be priced even lower.
And then the second question is, typically when a woman is taking a pregnancy test, sometimes it's last minute, she'll run to the drugstore. And you're mail order, right? Or are you going to sell through retailers like, drugstores and whatnot?
Yeah,
Because that's the behavior change.
I skipped a meeting with a retailer to be here today. We're focused initially on online.
Got it.
So direct to consumer through our own website as well as Amazon. So those are two big things that we're starting out first, as well as on-demand delivery services. So there's some really interesting things where you can order snacks and a few other things and have it delivered to your doorstep within 30 minutes. So there's a few other kind of channel partners that we're looking at, and then eventually into retail.
So, but do you think that's a behavior change to ask somebody to go online to order something and get it the next day or the day after?
Fair point. So we've done a good bit of research around that, and we know that there's 30% of women would prefer to purchase online over going to the store. So that's kind of our initial targeted audience, our target addressable kind of segment that we're going after. And then by the time that we're kind of expanding, we can kind of handle some of the rest of the market.
And how big do you think this market is?
In terms of dollars or people?
Yeah, because I think, some women might always just go to the drugstore to buy the plastic test, right? Because you have a new brand that embodies values that a certain type of consumer would want.
Right. So market in the US is about 380, 370, globally about 900 million, looking to be over $1 billion by 2020.
And do you guys have the capability of producing large scale?
That's where we're at right now, so
okay.
Yeah.
That's key, right? If you can have a great idea, but if you can't deliver, if you can't produce, then that's a big problem.
Yeah, and one of the things that we spent a lot of time on from an engineering and product design standpoint was simplifying the bill of materials. There's only 3 components in the overall test, so that makes it much easier from a supply chain and from a manufacturing situation as well. To date, we set up our own small scale line and have our FDA clearance and ISO certifications to produce them ourselves, but moving it to handle the scale. Exactly.
All right.
So first of all, I think this is amazing. We know that it's hard for women to talk about these things.
Yeah.
And what I love are products that bring the choice back to the woman, the choice to tell people about it or the choice to keep it private. Right. So I think it's really amazing. One question I have is, when you described it, I thought, wow, this makes all the sense in the world. It feels so obvious, and yet it was completely non-obvious. So now that you've put this new no-brainer thing, why would you ever use a plastic one ever again?
That's what we're hoping.
Right? But how do you make it defensible?
Yeah, so we do have issued patents. We have 1 issued patent already. We have 3 total non-provisionals. We have design patents. We have several trademarks, all filed internationally as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do a vote here really quick before she walks out of the stage. How many of you guys, raise your hands if you would try that product instead of the traditional one that I have? There you go. Thank you so much.
I want to announce our pitch winner along with Farnoosh Charabi. Farnoosh, come on up. So the pitch is one of my favorite competitions. It was a tight I'm going to shush you guys at the end of a long day. Give me 1 minute of your time. 1 minute of your time. So,
Winner of the pitch, they get 50.
Come on, female entrepreneurs. Anyway, so yeah, woo, can I hear woo? Yeah, if you're a woman, stay in the room. If you're a dude, leave.
And they stay in the room. So
anyway,
stay in the room.
So thank you guys for staying. I'll keep it short and sweet. It was a tight race. Lots of great folks. And we have 1 winner, and our fabulous financial expert, Farnoosh Charabi, is going to announce our winner. And then she'll come up on stage, say thank you, and then you can all go home.
I promise you get this right. The winner of the pitch is Bethany Edwards, Leah Diagnostics. It was a very tight race. Congratulations to everyone who competed.
A lot of you guys bring your ideas to the pitch. The pitch is an email we've set up. It's a network we've set up. It's a community. We love women entrepreneurs coming to us and giving us their ideas.
And thank you. Have a great night.
And it's a wrap. You guys, thanks for coming. Thank you so much for being here.